Okay, perfect. So again, welcome. Happy Monday. My name is Rebecca Caffiero, and I am so excited to be sitting here in the beautiful Palo Alto, California at a library, which I'm going to tell you why I'm here. And that's part of my introduction of my beautiful friend and coach, Kristin, who I'm so honored to be introducing today. I have had a lot of coaches over the last 12 years. I started coaching at a young age. And, coaches are something that's important in any area of life. In sports, we get a coach to help us not just learn more, but be our best, to kind of figure out the raw talents that we have and be able to hone them further. And then we get a coach if we want to specialize in something like writing or maybe acting. We have all these areas. If we really want to excel in our craft or whatever it is that we do, that we hire a coach. And the same thing in life or in success. It doesn't happen accidentally. And I know for myself, and I'm sure so many of you on here, there's been times in your life when you've been frustrated because you're working really hard and you're really busy and you might not be getting the results you want to get, or you might have just grinded through to get those results. And then when you got them on the other side, they didn't feel the way you expected them to feel. And I have dealt with both of those. And so for me, having a coach is so important. And when I met Kristin, oh my God, it's not quite a year ago. I think about 8 or 9 months ago, I was really drawn to her personality. She is an old soul. She's young, but she has this wisdom that is really incredible. And I ended up deciding to start coaching with her. And what she has brought to me that is unique for her is she's brought me a lot of balance and a lot of joy in my life. And not just about achieving and succeeding and excelling, but about doing it while enjoying the journey, which is something people say often, but they don't always do. So I'm at the Palo Alto Library today. And the reason is it has been on my not to-do list, but to create list for a long time to write a book. And I've had many books in me that are waiting to come out, but it's often being a perfectionist was stopping me from actually doing. And so one thing I got really clear on when I whittled down my goals from the normal 3 or 4 pages per year to 4 goals. And guess what? It actually turned out there was only 3, 2 of them were connected, that Kristin assisted me with, is understanding that part of my happiness and part of my state of being this year is to write this book. So with the exception of this call, I have literally canceled everything I am committed to this week, and pretty much every day from 7 a.m. till 4 p.m., sleep is important, I am writing. And so I am holding myself accountable to all of you for the end of this week to have a rough draft of my book ready. And I will be asking for people that are interested in reading and proof editing. But without further ado, I want to welcome Kristin and let her share a little bit about her path first, but to where she's at. And then, of course, bestow upon all of us a lot of clarity and goodness. So, Kristin, I'm going to unmute you. Oops, there you are. And video pin, there you are.
Can you hear me now, my love? Okay. Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon to everybody who is on this call. And first, can we all just gush over this woman that has just introduced us on this call, Rebecca Caffiero, who has, we all know, one of the busiest businesses and mom lives around. And she has cleared her schedule in order to focus on her number one priority, writing this book and getting it to publishing. So, I am in such awe of you. I adore you. And it is such a pleasure to be with everyone on this call today. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to get into introducing myself. But before I get rolling, the topic of this talk today is about clarity and planning your day. And we could take this a million directions. And don't you worry, ladies. Kristin's come prepared with all the notes, but before I get rolling, I want to make sure that I'm speaking to things that really matter to you and are relevant to your lives. So if you want to chime in, or maybe just write in the chat, just one intention that you have for this call. What is something that you would love to learn on this call, knowing that we're going to be talking about clarity and planning your day? What is one thing you would love to get out of this call? Let me see if I can make sure I can see the chat here too. Okay, productivity and time efficiency from Gabby. Wonderful. Clearing the distractions. Yes. let's see here, any more? One, let me get another intention up there just so that I know the direction that we're moving in here. Multitasking and organization, what's truly important, making sure, oh my God, this is exactly what we're talking about. Perfect, we're right on track, excellent. And my favorite way of doing this, even though all I can hear right now is my own booming voice reverberating in my apartment, is I would love to hear your voices too. So please don't hesitate to type into the chat. And if I just keep steamrolling through and I miss a really important comment, like start waving at me, pipe up, and ask some questions as we go through this, because this isn't for me. I'm here to hopefully make your lives clearer and get you shifting into action, doing what you really want to do, writing your own book if you want to write your book, growing your business if that's your biggest goal, spending more time with your family if that's your biggest goal. So please chime in and make sure that this training is useful to you. Let me know how I can do that. But without further ado, my name is Kristin, and I have the privilege of getting to coach women like Rebecca and Nicole on this call as well, in achieving their biggest professional and personal goals with a hell of a lot more fun and joy and ease. Because I think, probably every woman on this call can identify with being highly ambitious and driven. And when that happens, oftentimes, getting to the goal can become the priority over how we get to the goal. And we all have that experience of achieving something in our lives. And when we get there, it doesn't give us the feeling that we anticipated, because we might have grinded all the way through, and then we get there and then our ambitious mind goes, well, okay, we met basic expectations, on to the next thing. And it's like, well, then what the heck were we doing all of that for? You know what I mean? So my intention for today is to share one strategy and one tool with you. One strategy and one tool to help you get really clear on what it is that you want, how you intend to be while you are going for what you want, and how to take focused, aligned action every day so that you can make that vision real. So 3 things that I am attempting to achieve with this call here. And, what the background that I come from is I used to be a teacher. So I was in education, and then I was also in the nonprofit sector. And I was so fulfilled in the work that I did in many respects. But something was wrong. Like something inside of me told me that this was not exactly the path that I was supposed to be on. And while I didn't know exactly what that path was, I decided to hire a coach to help me figure that out. And, for the next 3 years of my life, it was about seeking clarity on what do I truly want out of this life? If my life were more purposeful, more powerful, more joyful, what would be different is kind of like one of those big guiding questions I was asking myself. And as I got clarity on what I wanted, which was starting my own coaching business, then came the task of juggling the full-time job alongside starting up a business. And I would love to hear, anybody give me a wave because I can see your videos, or type in the comments below, are there women on this call who are juggling the full-time job plus growing your isogenics business, or, another pursuit? Yes. Hello, Gabby. Okay. I feel you, Gabby. And I'm sure there are others too, but what I did at first was the grind. I know real well how to hustle. And what that led to was a lot of burnout and overwhelm. And when that happens, it serves no one. Even though we're under the illusion that this is going to get us to our biggest goals and dreams, what really I found was that as I was going for these biggest, this biggest vision for my life, when I did it at the cost of my self-care, and didn't take time to be conscientious and thoughtful about how I was showing up every single day, I wasn't satisfied. And so, as I started my coaching business, I hired another coach to also help me with figuring out my intention for being. And that's my intention here today, is to share with each of you, to save you some of that time that, I went through and that Rebecca has gone through, and I'm sure that we all have, of hustling for a slightly nebulous goal and putting ourselves into that place of overwhelm and overwork, so that we don't actually get to enjoy the success that we're lusting after. So I wanted to kind of share this one quote with you, that really just kind of speaks to me. And that quote is, "Unhappiness is not knowing what we want and killing ourselves to get it." Unhappiness is not knowing what we want and killing ourselves to get it. So who can identify with, working your tail off for this kind of really unidentified vision of success? It might have something to do with some kind of income level, but you're not quite sure what it is. But damn it, you're going to work day in. Sounds like a brilliant strategy, doesn't it? Not really. So where we're going to start today is on, I've only got minutes, and I run over, but where I would love to start is just asking the question of, how would a life fully true to yourself? So a life that is truly unreasonably joyful and purposeful, how would it look different from the one that you're leading now? So that question again is, how would a life fully true to yourself, one that is unreasonably joyful and purposeful, look different from the one that you're leading now? And Rebecca, I'm not sure if we can get other people, making the mic open for other people to chime in, but I would just love to take, maybe one or two people sharing what comes up for them when you think about that. On the mic too would be wonderful, so that we don't have to listen to my voice the entire time.
You guys feel free to unmute yourself, or if you're having a problem unmuting yourself, just type in the chat and I'll unmute you.
Okay, that sounds great.
Or we'll call for volunteers.
I'll share. Hi, Kristin.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Brittany Cara, and Rebecca and I host these on Mondays, and thank you so much for taking the time to speak to all of our teams. We really appreciate you.
Wonderful to meet you, Brittany.
Great to meet you. I just so resonated with what you said in the beginning. Like, I would define myself as a producer. I'm constantly producing in action. And oftentimes I find myself like I hit a goal, but it's like on to the next goal, and just giving myself that space of that time in between to really celebrate my successes. And I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but I struggle with that because I'm always driven like, okay, what's the next goal? Like next thing on my list. And when you said that in the beginning, I was like, oh yes, it's me. Like and a lot of people would look at my life and be like, oh, she's extremely successful. And I do feel successful and I'm super grateful, but I'm so driven for more. So it's like that feeling of always grateful, never satisfied. So I don't know if you have any tips of like how to ground that, because I love my drive, and I think all the busy women I'm a mom of 3 and I run multiple businesses, and I love that. But just that's what came up for me, was just that feeling of like, yes, I resonate with that, but like giving myself the space to go.
Brittany, I'm just writing down your words because they resonate with me so much. And honestly, it took somebody else teaching me the art of celebration for me to make a shift in my own life, because I was exactly like you, where I'm really good at checking off, the to-do list, getting goals done, setting them, accomplishing them, on to the next thing, and like hyper producing. But what's it worth if we're not pausing to just savor and enjoy? We wake up 20 years down the road and it's just not giving us that feeling of fulfillment that we thought it was going to give us, as wonderful and exciting as our lives may be. And the words that kind of came to me as you were talking, Brittany, were about like, what's that life look like that is both driven and guided? Where you are in the driver's seat, but you are also being guided and grounded as well. And that's exactly what this tool that I want to share with you all seeks to do, is to pause in our day and make time to be receptive to the vision. I think as being ambitious as we are, we can get under this illusion that we're the ones that are in control and always trying to, figure out the master strategy to get from point A to point B. But that can kind of rob our lives of some of the magic. And a lot of the joy that is available to us if we just sit and make some time to be receptive to that vision that's seeking to express itself through us as our own lives. And so, those words, I don't know if they mean anything to you, but I just kind of like to act from a place of intuition. And those are the words that came to me, is like, what does a life that is both driven and guided look like? So one more, I'd love to hear another person's, more purposeful, powerful, joyful life. Can I get a couple words from one other person on the call? And that's okay if not, because we can also move along. But I feel like there might be somebody who's seeking to jump on the call here. Okay, we're going to move along then, just so that I'm not wasting anybody else's time during your busy work days here.
Actually, Kristin, I have some people that are typing in. So you have Jairus typed, my inner dialogue would be supportive and nurture my drive.
I love that. To be supportive and nurture my drive. I love that, Yahaira. So what I know to be true is that more often than not, we don't have a quick and ready answer to the question of what do you truly in your heart of hearts want? And in my opinion, that's an ever evolving vision. And we get little snippets, we get little downloads of it here and there, but it comes with making intentional time to receive those downloads. Making some intentional time to just shut up and listen is what I'm getting at. For me, that time is my morning meditation. And so the strategy that I wanted to share with you all is meditation and visualization. So in any of my workshops that I lead, it infallibly makes its way in as one of the strategies that I share, because I cannot get over enough how important this is. So what I really suggest for getting clear on what you truly want is reserving 10 to 15 minutes a day for quiet time. And I know meditation, for those who don't have a practice already, can be an intimidating word. Like, I've tried that, Kristin, like I did the YouTube channel and it didn't work and I don't like it and blah, blah, blah. And that is just fine. Like, let's replace the idea of meditation with just sitting down, closing your eyes and breathing. Kind of like what you would do normally, except you put your phone away and you close your eyes for a second, but you're still breathing, so business as usual here. But what really adds the punch to getting clear on what you want is adding the visualization. So my recommendation about where to start to get clear on what you truly want is take first 5 minutes in the morning. Make 5 minutes where you just sit. I literally go and I put this thing out in the living room because I'm an animal. And even though I think I cannot look at this thing, that's not actually true. And evidence has shown I actually can't handle it. So I go put this in the living room, and then I spend 5 minutes of just breathing. I close my eyes, I get in a comfortable seated position, and I just breathe. And then what I really encourage you to do is take 5 more minutes to ask yourself the question, and I have it written down here. But if I were living a more powerful and purposeful and joyful life, a more powerful, purposeful, and joyful life 1 year from today, what would that look like and feel like? Just ask yourself that question. And you know what? Hopefully, you start actually getting different answers, because that means that you're opening up your mind to creative possibilities. And that's where the inspiration really comes. But my recommendation is you find 10 minutes in your day, ideally at the start of your day. And I know that we have incredibly giving, busy mothers on this call here, and 10 minutes of quiet time can feel like, does this woman even know what my day looks like? As a 2-year-old jumps in my face and starts screaming, and that's my alarm clock. But I can assure you that even the busiest of us can find 10 minutes of quiet before the rest of the world wakes up, where we are consciously investing in ourselves and our biggest visions. And that begins with us listening. We can be so good at talking and you know, putting out there what it is that we're going for, but listen first. First, get clear on what you want by listening, and that starts with this visualization practice. And when you ask yourself that question, what I invite you to do is just let the visions come to your mind. Let scenes of this ideal life and business come to your mind. And really focus in on not just the images, but how you are feeling in those images. Because it's that combination of what do I want and how do I want to feel that packs the punch behind visualization. And visualization is one of the best tools for getting out of your own way and reprogramming your subconscious mind to code these stretch goals for ourselves as plausible, as reasonable, as safe. And only when our subconscious mind codes them as safe are we able to actually go for what we really want. So this tool is stupid simple and stupid effective. I can't promote it enough. But all it takes is grounding down, getting quiet and relaxed, asking yourself that question of what would a more powerful, purposeful, and joyful life a year from now look like and feel like. And then listening, waiting for the images that come to your mind and feeling into those. I want you to actually feel as if you are in that vision, living that life in that quiet moment. And then at the end, all I want you to do is jot down what you saw. All it takes, a couple of bullet points on a notebook, sticky note, the back of a receipt. I don't care what it is. But just start noting down what you saw and how you showed up in that vision, because this is giving you insight into the woman that you are becoming, that woman that you aspire to be. And in that vision, yes, that woman has different things. Maybe she has a bigger home. Maybe she has more time with her girlfriends. Maybe she is, spending more time traveling and on vacation. But that woman also is embodying qualities that are seeking to express as our lives. And that is really important to hone in on. So how does that woman show up in your visualizations? Make sure you jot that down too. And if you try this for 1 month, you're going to start to see consistencies in what pops up for you. You're going to start to see consistencies in that vision of a more powerful and purposeful life. And you're going to see consistencies in how you intend to be in that vision. And that's where we're starting. So, if I were to kind of give us a roadmap for living this balanced, joyful, successful lives, it starts with getting clear on what we want and how we intend to be in that vision. Because when we know those things, the beauty of it is we don't actually have to wait until we're on that yacht in Turks and Cacao or whatever it's called. Like, so not what it's called, is it? But anyways, wherever Kim Kardashian goes, we don't actually have to wait until we're on that vacation to feel relaxed and abundant and joyful and vibrant. We don't have to. We actually get the opportunity to choose that feeling every single day. And so when you're paying attention to how you intend to be, that empowers you to choose that woman in every single moment of your life going forward. And I wish I had more time to talk about this because clearly I'm very passionate about it. But I do want to keep moving us along here and respect all of your lunch hours. So that's strategy number one, is carving out 10 minutes every single day for 1 month to meditate, get quiet, and visualize that more powerful, purposeful, joyful life, the look and the feel of it. And then we move on to clarity of action, clarity of doing. So when we know what we want, how we aspire to be, then comes, how do I take inspired, aligned action? And I've got a tool to share with you that I absolutely love, and it's a productivity worksheet. And first I want to frame this by saying one of the boldest acts that you can do in service of your financial and your mental and emotional success, do not check your email until you have planned your day. I mean this. Do not go there. Do not go into that inbox. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. And I actually would challenge you, do not check social media until you have planned your day. Because when we do that, when we immediately wake up and we start engaging in our inboxes and our personal messages and all of that, we are essentially handing over our power to somebody else and saying, you know what? Your priorities are more important than my own. Tell me, what can I do for you today, regardless of where I wanted to take my life? And bit by bit, 15 minutes by 15 minutes, we hand over years of our lives that we could have been investing in going for our biggest visions for our lives over to somebody else's priorities and goals. And then we wake up and we haven't done what we wanted. So my challenge to you is carve out 15 to 20 minutes to plan your day before you check email, before you check social media, and then go ham, girlfriend. Go ham, check your email, check your Instagram, check your Facebook, whatever it is. But carve out 15 to 20 minutes where you consciously plan your day with this productivity worksheet that I'm going to show you, and start your day from a place of intention. And what's going to happen, I assure you this, is it's going to increase your productivity by a minimum of 30%. And for me, oh my God, it was so much more. But I know that I have a tendency to exaggerate and get overly enthusiastic about things. So minimum 30% here. And the reason why it's so effective is because you will be outlining, here are my top 3 projects that I'm going for in my business right now. Every single day you are outlining those. And now what are my top 3 priorities that I'm going to accomplish today? And imagine the power of putting your attention and your focus on your 3 biggest projects in your business. Every single day you are looking at those, you know what it's going to take to get you there. And then every day you are prioritizing time to work on the action steps towards those projects. Imagine what's possible when you're doing that. and not giving away your power to everybody else's demands. So Rebecca, would you mind sharing with everybody like a screen share of that worksheet here? Fabulous, there it is. Okay, so I just wanted to give a brief overview of how to use this. So this is my productivity worksheet, my friends, and I fill this out every single morning. I take 20 minutes every morning before I get rolling, and I complete this. And what I start with is my intention. That's my intention for being and doing. So this can come straight out of your meditation and your visualization about how are you intending to show up today. And this is keeping top of mind for us, that woman that we are aspiring to be, that woman that we are aspiring to step into. Because the more we are focusing on how we intend to be, the having is going to come to us, okay? That experience that we're after, we're going to be naturally attracting it to us more and more and more. And we're going to be making choices that are aligned with that bigger goal. So set your intention for being. Next, I outline my top 3 projects. So right now, those look like, one of them is actually launching my business's Instagram account. But these projects, and how I got a question here from Gabby about how specific do we get in our intention? Do you find a repeated pattern while setting intentions? Yes, absolutely. I find a pattern. And in fact, there is a lot of power to be had in setting the same intention for yourself, the same intention for being every single day, because where we put our focus is what we magnify in our lives. And so if you are focusing on the same 3 attributes for being, you will become that very quickly, Gabby. And yes, okay, I can share the alarm clock trick too. So this is a digression, everyone, but as you sit in your meditation and you start getting clarity on how that woman you aspire to be shows up, one tool that I have is go into your phone alarms and set a recurring phone alarm for 3 times in your day. Every single day. There is Rebecca. She's showing it to us. It goes off at 6 a.m. And put your 3 qualities for the woman that you aspire to be in there. So that might be, that I aspire to be connected, attentive, and joyful. It could be that I aspire to be generous, loving, and present. Who knows what it is for you? But put those into a phone alarm and have it set to go off every day, 3 times a day. And it's going to make you cognizant of choosing that woman in every single opportunity that you get in your life. So with that, when you're clear on how you're being, what I want you to do every single day on this worksheet is outline your top 3 projects. Your 3 projects are going to be things that it actually takes you multiple weeks or months to accomplish. So one project for Rebecca, for instance, could be publishing her book. A project for me could be, maxing out my client capacity. I am almost there, which is so exciting. So whatever it is, those 5 bullets beneath it are where you are outlining 5 action steps that you could take to accomplish that project. And those action steps, you don't need to break the whole project down into just 5 steps. What they're meant to do is you're going to be crossing them off as you go through, and then you're going to continue to add to them. So they're adaptive. They're just going to be an evolving path. But the important thing is that you are starting to think through, here's what I want. What could be 5 steps I could take to get me to what I want? Because one of the most important things that we can do to achieve success is have a plan. And so that's what this is doing. And you're looking at it every single day. So you bet that project is going to get accomplished. And it might take longer than you thought. It usually does, but you will make it happen if it's a priority for you. So the next thing down on this productivity worksheet is people. So people that I must reach out to and people that I'm waiting on. This thing is absolute gold for follow-ups. So many of the women that I work with, and many of whom are in Isagenix, there's a million people that we reach out to, and then we forget in that sea of Facebook messages and emails and text messages and voicemails about who did I reach out to last Thursday? And maybe all it would have taken is just one more follow-up. Maybe you caught her then at a bad moment, and all it would have taken is one more follow-up for that person to enroll. And so this right here is a tool to keep you clear on who must I reach out to today, and who are the people that I am waiting on to further my biggest projects, which could be, for instance, a certain enrollment number could be a project for you. Hitting 2-star or 3-star could be a project for you. So who are those people that you need to follow up with in order to make that project a reality? And then priorities. So where the projects are the longer term goals, your priorities are the 3 things that you're going to commit to getting done today, come hell or high water. So, that actually might be one of your priorities, might be a bullet point beneath your project. And it could not be, it could be something different. But what this is going to start to make you become is a lot more conscious about choosing to set aside time every single day for your biggest projects and priorities. And that's, you're chunking it down, and that's what the priorities are. It's just kind of a chunk down version of your bigger project. It's maybe one of those action steps. I will warn you, when you first start using this worksheet, you're going to shoot the moon on what you think you can get done in a day. But what we tend to do is we overshoot what we can get done in a day, but we undershoot what we can get done in a year. And so have heart, girlfriend, keep going for it. You're going to get a rhythm and a feel for, how to start adjusting your priorities and what you set out to do in a day. But if you stick with it, you are really going to be knocking those projects out of the park. And it's going to give you clarity on, I'm dedicating my energy to this bigger goal, not getting lost in Instagram world, not getting lost in my Facebook newsfeed. And then the personal at the bottom of the page, this is the point where I want you to set an intention for ways that you're going to take care of yourself today. That could look like going for, your daily exercise. It could look like a goal for the number of glasses of water you're going to drink. It could look like paying your credit card bill on time so that your energy isn't going to worry about, your finances, and instead you're freed up to be focusing on your biggest goals. So my recommendation and my challenge to everyone is to print out 10 copies of this worksheet. So download this worksheet, print out 10 copies, and try using it for 2 weeks straight. Every single day in those 15 to 20 minutes that you carve out at the start of your day, to plan out your day so that you're taking that focused, aligned action. And I know that we're a little bit over time here for the 30-minute mark that Rebecca gave us. But I just wanted to finish with saying, I really encourage everyone to pick somebody to hold you accountable to these goals. We've just talked about a number of really powerful strategies and tools to start shifting into action to achieve our biggest goals. And I want you to think or call to mind one person that you could text immediately following this call to let them know what you're up to, what you're intending to do. And ask if you could check in with them regularly on these new action steps, like meditating and visualizing daily, and planning out your day before you jump into the email and the social media, and invite them in on this too. I'm sure that they could love this as well. But seek out accountability, because we're not meant to go it alone. And of course, I am a resource. I work with a number of women in Isagenix to help them go after their most ambitious business and personal goals. And like Rebecca said, with a lot more joy and a lot more balance. So I am always a resource here too. And I know Rebecca's going to share my email, and it's on the productivity worksheet as well. If anybody would like to set up a time to talk and, think about how that could look for you with my support. But, I hope that this served you. I hope that this was helpful. And there it is, my email's in the chat window here. But I hope that this served you. And I can stick around for another 5 minutes if anybody has any questions. But that's all that I've got for everybody here today.
Thank you so much, Kristin. It's so helpful. Does anybody have any questions? And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and stop the recording, and we will upload.